All right, why don't we get started? Again, happy Thursday, everyone. My name is Kevin Morris. I'll be hosting today's investing webinar focused on AI. We have three exciting companies here today that are leveraging AI to grow their businesses, all three in different industries, which is fun. So we have Circuit City and their CEO, Ronnie Schmoyle, obviously focused on the e-commerce space. Everyone knows Circuit City, probably grew up with Circuit City. So I'm excited to hear more from him about that. We have Carolyn Shoka, CEO of Overplay in the gaming space. I have a lot of young kids and so getting older, so excited to learn more from Caroline and what they're doing at Overplay. And last but not least, Luca Zambello, CEO of Jurny in the hospitality space. All three of these CEOs and entrepreneurs are in the tech space and are specifically leveraging AI to enhance and make their businesses grow and become more efficient. So to start, I want to give each company about 5 minutes to sort of, introduce themselves to you and share a bit more about their backgrounds, and then we'll get into a discussion. So first, we'll start with Overplay.
Yeah. So hi, I'm Caroline Stauka. I am one of the founders of Overplay. Yeah, Overplay, as you may have grasped a little bit from that video, is a gaming company, and it's really where Overplay is super innovative and where no one else is doing. What we're doing is that we are a no-code solution for turning any video into a game. So imagine now that you're making a TikTok or you're making an Instagram reel or you're putting out a YouTube video, but now you're able to make that into a swiping, tapping, jumping, driving game. So now basically any video could be made interactive. And this could work for creators, it could work for brands, for commercials. This could work for previews for movies. This could work for ed tech. This could work for Sesame Street. It really can be anything.
Next, we have Luca with Jurny. Luca.
Hi everyone. I'm going to be sharing my screen really quick. I'm Luca, CEO and founder of Jurny. We are all in one platform that helps property managers for Airbnbs and hotels to fully automate their operation, everything within the guest journey, from check-in to check-out to guest communication to upsell. And we do that through a fully integrated technologies and AI. I'll go quickly through. Obviously, it's pretty big industry, as you probably know, and it's very labor intensive. A lot of things have done with, and beside the obvious front desk and obvious things like cleanings that are labor intensive, but there's a lot of back end office that happens that people don't know. Even just running an Airbnb can take 10 to 15 hours per week in manual labor. So how do we automate all of that? We integrate some of world-known solutions all under a single platform, including we partnership with Airbnb, Booking, VRBO, Expedia, and many more. And we all power it with AI. So we have our AI is called Nia. We've just this year, Nia has autonomously managed 170,000 reservations. Basically, are being handled fully autonomously without any or very minimal human interactions, saving on average each host anywhere from 650 to 800 hours per year per unit, right? This is just on the Airbnb space, with a potential impact if you take it for the whole industry of $112 billion just for the Airbnb space. We're taking that even to a next level with future releases. That's why we're also raising around. And here is like a little bit showing you general time saving from guest communication, cleaning turnover, pricing, listing and updates, check-in and check-out processes. You can see what normally takes and what it takes by managing it with Jurny. Obviously, there's a massive time saving. Also, beside that, I mean, we're as you see, we already manage 170,000 reservations autonomously. We run even more reservation through our system. So we have thousands of properties already. So our customers love our product. Being featured kind of everywhere. Most recently, we're live on CNBC. Won tons of awards, most of them this year as best property management system. We're back from some top VCs like Macro Capital, Okapi. We share one VC with Caroline, Singularity Capital, common investor. many of them have had several unicorn exits. So we're proud of that. Pretty solid team. I'm not going to go into much details because we don't have too much time, but we're currently raising a WeFounder. We've been live for about a month. We raised 1.7 million. We have actually we just raised 10 grand today, so we have about $67,000 of early bird terms left, and our goal is $2.3 million, which we think we're going to get there fairly quickly. Transitioning from product development to growth stage. So it's a very exciting time. We're still going to obviously keep developing the product, but the majority of these new fundings we're going to be raising is going to be used for growing the business. Excited to be here and be discussing AI with 3 other great entrepreneurs.
Excellent. Thank you, Luca. And last, we have Ronnie, Circuit City.
Hi, Kevin. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming on. I'd like to introduce myself. So my name is Ronnie Shmuel. I've been a serial e-commerce entrepreneur for the last 22 years. Today, I'm going to show everyone what Circuit City is doing, why we're back, and what specifically are we doing in the AI tech space. What we're trying to do while we're raising more capital is we're trying to compound on all the successes that we found in the last few years, especially post-COVID, as e-commerce has been definitely in an acceleration mode. We are building the largest AI consumer electronics platform that exclusively focuses on this sector of consumer electronics. There is no other, we haven't found another platform like us while utilizing a brand that everybody knows. We set out to really focus on an AI curated shopping experience that brings consumers to products faster and a more personalized format. And we are built on 4 business strategies and 4 revenue models that we've already launched 3. So we are focused on direct to consumer, again, built directly on AI, B2B commerce. So we actually sell to other businesses. And we are launching the only marketplace, which means that other sellers can sell on our platform to customers. So we're launching an Amazon-like platform on circuitcity.com.
I'm going to start with Luca, Jurny. Luca, obviously, I've known you for quite some time. I'd love to hear a bit more just about your path to founding Jurny. I know the current iteration of Jurny is sort of solved the problem that you felt earlier in your career. If you could spend a minute or so sharing that with the audience, I think that'd be really interesting for them to hear.
Yeah, definitely. I was a customer of our competitors before we started building Jurny. We originally launched a management company that we scaled and grew across 3 different US cities. We had about, actually at one point, we were in 5 different cities and 300 units. And I was a user of outdated legacy system, which many of them are still like the most utilized right now. And they're still raising money with the same model, with the same older systems. And I found it extremely hard for us as a property manager to focus on property management and actually automating what we were doing because of the fragmentations of our industry, how fragmented different technologies were, how much they didn't talk to one another, and lack of innovation in general. There was some innovation, but nothing compared to our industry. And in fact, when we launched Jurny, we raised the bar for the entire industry. Even billion-dollar companies had to step it up because otherwise they would have almost immediately lose most of their customers to us. And so we obviously they took us some time to catch up with some of the fundamental of the structure that these people had time to build. We fundamentally build our system and product different so that, especially with the rise of AI, we had AI in mind from day one, which meant that we build our system different from everybody else, and is going to give us a massive competitive advantage as we go. We already have one, but as the time goes on, it's going to become bigger and bigger, especially as AI becomes more and more powerful.
Yeah, no, it's interesting you say you had AI in mind from day one, because that was sort of how you wanted to differentiate yourself from your competitors. First of all, if we got $1 for every time we said AI in this webinar, we'd have a lot of dollars already. So, but I'm going to keep saying it. It is a buzzword, and it can be used in a lot of different ways. And I can my kid who's 7 can use AI. My daughter actually uses it on YouTube to like post things. And anyways, it's one thing to say you use it, right? And mention it, you're using it, but it's another thing to put it into practice in your business. And so, Luca, we'll start with you first. Like, what are some of the challenges for you, for Jurny and in the hospitality industry of actually integrating AI-based technology to expand your product? Because it's easier said than done.
Yeah, absolutely. And I couldn't agree more with you that it is unfortunate that it has become a buzzword. And when usually there are new trends, you start having a lot of people overusing it and making claims. But in the end of the day, I think it's evolving so rapidly that you're going to be period of time distinguish who are the people making claims and who are the people actually having something. The reality is that even though there's so much buzz, there's some real things happening. And I think like the most exciting things is in the vertical AI space, which all three of us are, which means really focusing on one specific industry vertical and bring solutions. Like for us, more specifically, I mean, I even shared before on the deck briefly, but managing 170,000 reservation fully autonomously, that's not something that just happens. You need to have something, you need to have built something. And so that's really like where we are seeing, even for us, where customers are really valuing what we're doing. And it's soon is not going to even be so much about AI, but what are you doing with it, right? What kind of results are you bringing to people? Like if managing an Airbnb, a single Airbnb takes 10 to 15 hours, and you can reduce that to 1 to 2 hours per week versus 15 hours per week, that's an insane amount of value that you're bringing to the industry. We're talking about just in a very specific small vertical like Airbnb, we quickly ran the math that it could have $120 billion of worth of impact, financial impact. That's in one vertical with one solution like Jurny. But that's just as is happening for us because we're leading that revolution. It's happening across multiple different industries. So that's where I see like within next year you're going to be able to distinguish the noise from the gold.
Mm-hmm. Caroline, on the gaming space and Overplay, what's been your, sorry, no pun intended, what's been your journey?
Yeah, so we haven't yet incorporated it for public consumption yet. We haven't. So AI, it's all coming. We're working on the back end. We launched our beta in June, and now we're incorporating everything that we would say. So as we raise money, we're bringing on the engineers that are now incorporating those pieces that we're talking about. And so just like Luca was saying, the proof's going to be in the pudding with the product. And it's going to be a much enhanced experience. So as we raise and as we kind of continue to tell the Overplay story, the faster we're going to be moving. And but yeah, AI is going to really hit in 2025.
Ronnie, for Circuit City, you obviously, it's an industry that's clearly tech focused because it's consumer electronics. But how has it been so far? Leveraging AI-powered technology to, expand the product offerings. How's that process been for you guys? What have you learned? And how do you think you're going to, have a clear advantage over your competitors?
We knew we were going to utilize the AI-powered personalization tools to help consumers find products quicker and faster. So we started that, it worked. And then we looked at the business. And as we were building some of the things that we did, not knowing some of the developers we were working with, some of the web firms we were working with, we spent a little money that we shouldn't probably at the time. We wanted to just get in there, and then pull back. Now we're pulling back a little bit, looking at it differently. It's kind of live and learn, right? We realized that we really needed an AI tool to help us accelerate and offer this out to 2 or 3 retailers a year in a scalable manner and a timely manner as well. So it's one of the nuances and challenges that we're finding as we move along. It's like push and pull, like what's out there, what can we work with, what do we need to build from scratch, and making sure that it all works together seamlessly. That's really the trick, and it's challenging. I mean, it's not a clear-cut operation on that side.
Yeah. Well, it's I've heard, you want to integrate it into what you're doing, but if you do it too early, maybe something will break or something won't work well. We've heard lots of horror stories of sort of AI things, more funny on the news. But I'm going to segue to a question from Tom here in the audience. First of all, he says it's official. This is the age of artificial intelligence. Couldn't agree more. His question is, to what extent do you feel first movers like all of you here have an advantage over the latecomers?
Yeah, we're totally a first mover. We are that classic business school case that you read about. Man, it's we do have a defensible moat with our patents and things like that. We feel very strongly about it. And some folks have even invested in us. Some lawyer funds have invested in us just because of our patents, which is great. Like, it's definitely a shot in the arm. It shows that we've got something, right? But you got to run quickly. And so, yeah, we have all these ideas. We're trying to bring the best people on. We're trying to run quickly, raise the money, build, and not lose that edge that we have.
Luke, on your end, would love to hear a bit more about your thoughts on the first mover advantage for Jurny. One of the things I've noticed, maybe you could touch upon this, is that because I've known you for quite some time, is I've seen the progress in things like Nia and your technology, and how you started out small. Okay, we can do this, and now we can do this and this and this. I think you've taken a really careful and a good way approach to expanding your product offerings.
There's several different advantages. Well, now one is we've been looking at this for like way before many other people. So it meant that we built the product with that in mind. I think that's a big deal. I know it goes a lot more on nuances, but if you look at the fundamental difference in how the products are built, although in the surface they don't look much different, there's a major difference in how they're built. That's one thing. The second thing is the experience. Like, it's basically impossible to find people with a lot of experience in AI. Literally. So you either build it yourself and you really start understanding the ins and outs of the technologies, or you don't. And if there are people out there that they all have a job and they're working for some big tech companies. So I think that's the second biggest one. I myself try to get my hands. I'm not a developer, but I try to get my hands as dirty as possible with this technology to really try to grasp it. Playing around, I know there was just recently the release of GPT-01, and just the other day I was having it code for me and doing stuff with Python. I literally developed some games just for fun, just to understand how it works. And I'm not a developer, but I really want to live and breathe it within, even outside of our product, and stay on top of information. And that just gives you a massive competitive advantage, because you're going to have so much more knowledge than everybody around us. It happens to me all the time. I go to conferences and I hear people talking about AI, and they're still talking about prompt engineering and the most basic stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, it's just we were there 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's literally, you're right. I mean, it's constantly changing. Even from a pure consumer perspective, for me, the products I use from day to day, even Google recently now has AI for search results, which sort of I heard about it, I saw it, and then I was like, "Why? How? I couldn't have lived without this." How it's just
100%. Yeah. And we realized too that one of the coolest things is that we start predicting what the releases are going to be. So we start talking about multi-agents. You can look at it in our releases. We're talking about multi-agents a year and a half ago. You're now hearing the public talking about multi-agents and the idea of using different models for different functionalities that exists in our systems since a year and a half ago. Yeah. So that's you start predicting where things are coming. So you you develop stuff before it even comes out. That gives us a huge edge.
Yeah. That's great. I mean, the fact that you're able to be so far ahead of your competitors in integrating this is key. Ronnie, for you, clearly, again, going back, it's sort of an old schoolish industry. How are you making sure that you're executing it properly, not trying to do too much all at once?
It's a great question. So yeah, not my. I guess it's a twofold answer. It's advice from trial and error. Don't do too much too fast. Absolutely not. And we haven't taken that approach. So no matter what, I can tell you there's no perfect line, as entrepreneurs know on this. There's no perfect line. But what we like to do is we like to test a lot. We like to make sure that something is working optimal before we move into the next segment. So it's kind of like a waterfall effect. That's how we take things. So we haven't launched marketplace. I was actually proposed to launch a marketplace. Just say, Ronnie, just launch a marketplace. Circuit City. It's tech forward. It's a marketplace in the beginning. And then I did it in reverse. I really wanted to learn more about the customer and their journey, and then onboard third-party sellers. So we can actually give the consumer, right? Think about the consumer always first. Give them the best shopping experience ever that we can, which is evolving and daily. We have live video shopping now. We have all these tools that make shopping easier.
Well, we have about 10 minutes left, and I want to do some targeted questions from the audience. There's a lot of ones for specific issuers. If AI is part of the answer, great. If not, that's fine too. But I want to give some opportunity for people to ask. I'm going to start with George, who invested in Jurny yesterday. So George, Luca thanks you for your investment.
Thank you, George.
George asks, Jurny is a game changer and is pioneering in the hospitality industry. Are there any updates and acquisitions or developments that you can share with the audience?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of product releases and partnerships that are coming up, but some of them we cannot disclose until release. A lot of stuff AI related, and some of it non-AI related on the product side. Like we have some really good products that are going to allow us, enable us to go after some much larger customers and even in the hotel space. We have, and we cannot yet announce who they are, but and someone who's going to join our advisory board, who's a C-level suite on a big hotel chain, one of the biggest. Again, I cannot really share much about it yet, but that's happening. So a lot of exciting things. I mean, you're going to see most of them. I'm sure as our rounds are closing. Biggest thing I think for us is that we're releasing by the end of the year the customization, the ability for customers to customize multi-agents and create different protocols and different processes customized for each customer. So people can literally interact with these different AI agents and train them as their employees to do different tasks and as they like. And this is very much a must that has been requested from some of our larger customers. And so, yeah, a lot of exciting things.
Awesome. We'll be keeping our eye out for all the news. A few sort of similar questions here. One from our friend Tom, who's an investor. Hey, Tom. Nice to meet you. But Tom wants to know, and again, a few questions here. Are there any other companies out there showing interest in Overplay's technology? You mentioned ESPN, and sort of related to that, any collaborations that you guys have coming up?
Yes. So anyone who is creating media, so anyone who's doing streaming video or anything like that, they are very interested in Overplay. We will be at Adobe MAX this year. As some folks know, we have some funding from the Adobe Fund for Design. They invited us back this year to have a booth. And so we will be showing off the new tech. But some of those partners will also be at Adobe MAX, and this is in mid-October. So I don't know whether we're going to be able to announce at that time, but hold on to your horses. This is the biggest names in content are very interested in Overplay.
Well, we have a few minutes left. I wanted to let each of you sort of share any final thoughts. I'll also share a bit more information about the investment opportunity that's open. Ronnie, why don't I sort of segue to you and any closing thoughts about Circuit City, about the investment opportunity. I'll sort of share as well from everyone for the group, where everyone's at in their rounds. But Ronnie, over to you.
Absolutely. I'd like to share something that I don't normally share to investors really out there first and foremost. So just to let everybody know, this is we're running right now on Republic, a Reg D accredited investor only. We're working on launching a crowd fund. That means that anybody non-accredited, anybody can invest, which I think is the best, the best out there, right? So we demonstrated that we can do this. We turned a profit, then opened up a round. So we wanted to really prove to everyone and prove to the market that we're trying to scale something really big.
Yeah, thank you, Ronnie. Luca, over to you. I know literally as this webinar, we were prepping for this, the early bird bonus, there's less space now. You have a round open as well on WeFunder. Would love for you to, share some closing thoughts.
Very exciting time, definitely. I don't know if we are going to raise another crowdfunding after this one. We might, but there's also a big chance that we don't, because of how fast the company is growing, and obviously we wanted to allow our community to invest and people to invest in this round, and a lot of customers end up investing in this round. But it is extremely time confusing, and we are time consuming. We definitely want to focus on growing the business. We're hitting that growth trajectory right now as we speak, and we couldn't be more excited about that. Just been long journey in developing a very complex product, easy to use but complex on the back end. A lot of developments, a lot of hours, and now we're finally hitting that growth stage. So we're very excited.
Thank you, Luca. And finally, Caroline, your round is also on WeFunder. Tons of momentum on it, filling up fast.
Yeah, this is that last round before we finally we burst out there onto the scene in a huge way. And of course, we will be using Mark Cuban in a bit of a bigger way than we are right now. He is invested in us, but he does also want to promote us and do other things with us. So I want to kind of also hit on a couple of verticals that are very interested in Overplay. As you might imagine, sports is going to be really big. So Overplay integrated with various sports opportunities is something that you'll be seeing. And then also with music videos, movies, things like this. So just a little taste of what's to come next year. Super excited to have you all along. And yes, we still have the WeFunder round open. It's going super quick. And then we also do have an institutional round open too for funds who want to invest. So that would be, somebody could, you could ping me on the side and let me know. But yeah, happy to chat with folks about that.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, everyone, I know we're at time. Caroline, Ronnie, and Luca, thank you for taking the time. Everybody will send the recording afterwards in case you want to watch or if you weren't able to attend the whole thing. So thank you, everybody. Have a great
Kevin, just one quick thing. Sorry, I know we were not able to answer there was tons of questions, tons of existing investors from all of us, all our companies. So first of all, I want to thank all these investors and say that if we didn't have enough time to answer some of the questions, feel free to send us to us directly. Just want to share that.
Great. Thanks everyone.
Appreciate it.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks so much.
All right.